Shalom everybody, and welcome back to our class in Rav Noson's discourse in Likutey Halakhot, section Orach, the laws of Nefilat Apayim, falling on one's face after the Amidah prayer, discourse number 4, which again is based on the Likutey Moran lesson 24. We're now in the second section, the end of the second section of paragraph 20. And we left off where Rav Noson is showing how the sun and the moon reflect this idea of how we perceive Hashem's light in life. It has to be on two conditions, in two formats, of mate velo mate, running, reaching, and not reaching, returning, in and out. And it's reflected amazingly in the setup of the constellations of the sun and the moon. How the sun is always shining bright and the moon has the waning. It's sometimes up, sometimes down. There's the new moon, there's the full moon, and then it shrinks again to nothing until we start again. The cycle of up and down. And the cycle of the moon is imperfect. It's not set and steady like the sun. The sun has a fixed solar cycle which doesn't change. Okay, always rising on the same point every year, the same time, the same date, and then setting. The moon is always changing and fluctuating from month to month, and there's no set rules. Every year it's changing and it's different, okay, and how it's rising, when it's rising, when it sets, its positioning around the earth. The sun is fixed. It has a fixed schedule. This, Rav Noson is showing us, is how the life of a Jew is in wanting to perceive the light. Since these are dealing, sun and moon are dealing with light, and the concept of light, like we said in the classes earlier, are the idea of shining into one's life, the infinite light, which shines clarity and help and salvation. It's reflected in the concept of light in our physical existence. So these two pattern the way, the representation of how a person has to receive the light. It's shining like the sun, but also like the moon, waning and so upside down. So Rav Noson, after establishing this point, he's going to show us now how this is in the Gemara's discussion in Masechet Rosh Hashanah of the comparison between the sun and the moon. The Gemara, it's in the Rosh Hashanah, page 25a, on this famous Mishnah, how Rabbi Yeshua disagreed with Rabban Gamliel's decision of accepting or not accepting witnesses. And he said, I force you to come on Yom Kippur on your cheshbon to me with your staff and your money pouch and shoes to come to me, showing that the day that's your Yom Kippur is really not the real Yom Kippur. My calculation that I received from my ancestors in how to determine the calculation of the new moon, that's the right one. And he's saying the one that I received from his grandfather, Rabbeinu HaKadosh, Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, the author of the Mishnayot, okay? So the Mishnah there says, where's the source? Where is Rabbi Yehuda's source of how to determine, how to know that the moon is always changing? So the Gemara says, let's take a look in the Gemara in Rosh Hashanah, page 25a. It says, Shemesh, they explain the verse. It's a famous verse from Psalms, chapter 104, verse 19. Okay, the verse reads, Shemesh Yada, verse 19, 104, chapter 104, verse 19. Asaya Reach Lemoadim, King David in this psalm is praising the parts of creation on day number 4. Asaya Reach Lemoadim, Hashem made the moon so that we can calculate the festivals. The festivals come with the moon, the new moon, and the date that is established as the first day of the month, based on what day will be Pesach, Shavuot, Sukkot, etc., Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur. So Asaya Reach Lemoadim, the moon is for determining the festivals. And Shemesh, what's the sun? Yada Mivo'o. The sun knows its Mivo'o, its pattern, its way that it goes. So the Gemara says on this, the Gemara says, Tanya, this is the Gemara again, Rosh Hashanah, page 25a. Tanya, it was taught, Amar lahem Rabban Gamliel Chachamim. Rabban Gamliel said to the sages, what we quoted earlier, Kach mekubelani mi beit avi abba. Thus is the tradition that I received from my grandfather, the Avi Abba. Pa'amim sheba ba'aruka. There are times that the moon takes long to make its cycle of a day in a day period. The cycle that it does, sometimes it's long, and that's because its positioning on the earth is always changing. It's moving. Okay. Pa'amim ba'aruka, upa'amim sheba biktsar. And sometimes it's faster. Okay, and only today NASA is discovering how the rabbis knew pinpoint by the millisecond how the calculation of the month in its monthly cycle is, and because that's always changing in relationship to the lunar sun and its positioning around the world, which is fixed and steady. Okay, so the moon, sometimes it comes long, sometimes it comes short. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, and Rabbi Yochanan said on what Rabban Gamliel said, "My ta'ama devei Rabbi." What is the reasoning? In other words, where's the source to support what Rabbeinu HaKadosh said? That sometimes it comes long, the moon, sometimes it comes short. Dichtiv, because it says, this verse from Psalm 104, verse 19, Asay Arech leMoadim, Hashem made the festivals for the Moadim. Shemesh Yada Mevo'o. The sun knows its pattern, its way to take. Hu de Yada Mevo'o, Yareach lo Yada Mevo'o. The fact that the verse reads, and the sun knows its way, so what are you coming to diminish? You're coming to diminish that the moon doesn't know. The sun knows its pattern. By saying that, so what about the moon? The moon doesn't know its pattern. The moon's for another purpose, for determining the festivals, but it doesn't have a fixed pattern. So he says, Shemesh Yada, Hu Yada Mevo'o, because the verse says, all right, Aval Yareach lo Yada Mevo'o, the moon doesn't know. So just the Ben Ish Chai on this Gemara, he says something phenomenal. He says that based on the Arizal, when he writes in the book of the Gilgulim of reincarnations, you understand based on this why some tzaddikim pass away after a long time, a long life, and some passed away young. And the ones who passed away in a long life, it takes them longer to accomplish what they accomplished to become tzaddikim. And you have other tzaddikim, like in the Zohar, that they were so young and yet they were totally knowledgeable in the Torah and they died young. Okay? They accomplish biktsara. In a short period, they do their cycle of what they came down the world to fix and rectify. They do it in a short time. And you have other tzaddikim that takes them much longer. Like he brings the example from the Yerushalmi, even Rabbi Nachman brings this example of Rabbi Bun, who in 28 years was able to accomplish what other tzaddikim took 100 years to accomplish in knowledge of the Torah, in reaching levels of perceptions. So it's that already the Ben Ish Chai shows that it's talking about people in short and in long. In our context, Rav Nosson wants to say that this fragile system of the moon, sometimes it's long and short, shows that part of perception that it's not always in, like the sun. It's in, like the sun is fixed. In other words, there's light, there's fixed light, but there's also the moon, and they work together. You need both. They work together hand in hand. And both are needed in the life of a person in order to perceive. If you think it's only sun attitude, sun, clarity, you're wrong. You're not going to get anywhere. It's the clarity of the sun and the waning upside down attitude of the moon. But what establishes the festivals? Festivals, by the way, like the verse reads, Asay Areach leMoadim. The Moadim is moed, like fixed times of our festivals, is when a Jew is expected to receive a lot of insight and receive light from the festivals, which advance a person in their life. That dafka specifically is from the moon. The moon, which is waning upside down, for the moon, Asayarech leMoadim, the place where you receive your festivity, your enhancement in life, is specifically by the moon. Asayarech leMoadim. Shemesh Yada Mevo'o. Yes, it's true. You need to be part of the solar cycle. There's that part of life where you have to be consistent, straightforward, and developing and advancing. But there's the other part of life, of the day, where things are not opaque, are dark, are gloomy, are not clear, lacking clarity. And that's where Asay Areach Lemoadim. It's the festivals, the light that you gain is specifically from the lunar cycle, the lunar attitude of it being not fixed, every month different, the point of the time of the monthly cycle making it so off and different from the previous month cycle and shifting it in relationship to the solar, the sun cycle. So, but that's where a person gets the Moadim, he gets the light of the Moadim. So with this all said, let's see how Rav Nosson expounds it. Rav Nosson says like this. Kichama, we're just now inside, just going over the ideas we mentioned, but how with Rav Nosson's wording here. Kichama hi bechinat yediyah, because the for the sun corresponds to solid clarity, consistent knowledge. She bechinat redifa, which is the idea of the pursuing the mind's tendency, the human mind's tendency to run after light, to pursue. That's the idea of the sun that has its movement, its solar movement consistent. That's the natural, normal tendency of a person's mind to run after knowledge, awareness, light, like the sun. Okay? In other words, the pursuing of the mind, as we mentioned above. That's the redifa, the running of the mind. Ulevana hi bechinat he'eder yediyah. And the moon is the idea of the lacking of this awareness, of this knowledge. Shebechinat ha'me'akev ha'nizkar le'el, which is the idea of the refraining, the restraining, the delay, the bounce back mentioned above. Okay, and that's the idea, the role model of the moon. Kishemesh, here we go, the verse now. Rav Nosson's quoting the verse we just saw from Psalms 104, verse 19. Kishemesh yada mevo'o. For the moon, the sun, knows its path. Mevo'o. Avat aval levana lo yada mevo'o. But like the Gemara just we saw right now in Rosh Hashanah says, it comes to say the sun knows its path, meaning the moon doesn't know its path. But the moon doesn't know its path. Kmo Shamru Rabotenu Zal, like the rabbis explained in the Gemara we just saw, Rabbi Yochanan. Nimtza, so therefore, conclusion, Kichama hi bechinat yediyah, the sun corresponds to awareness, knowledge. Bechinat shemesh yada mevo'o, then the sun knows its mevo'o. Aval levana lo yada mevo'o, but the moon doesn't know its mevo'o. Ze bechinat, its not knowing, is he'adera yediyah, the lacking of knowledge. Shebechinat ha'me'akev, which is like we said earlier, the idea of the me'akev, the preventing, the delaying of the mind to perceive. And that's the idea of the moon, and both are needed. Both are part of the picture. We'll stop here and hopefully continue on with how Rav Nosson develops this idea. Again, if you have any questions or feedback or just want to say hello, you can please reach out to me by WhatsApp only, +1 732 800 1863, private message only, or by email, brestoftherapy, BRESLOV therapy @gmail.com. Thank you. Have an amazing week. Shalom, shalom.